and welcome to the Wheel of Crime podcast, the podcast that's run by two ladies who play games, shout profanities, and laugh way too often. Also, this podcast does cover topics of sensitive nature, and as such, listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome back to the Wheel of Crime podcast. My name is Jenn.
The Wheel of Crime podcast. My name is Emily.
The Wheel of Crime podcast. My name is Jenn.
It was really feeling like, wow, my brain just farted so hard. My thought that I had completely disappeared. Wait, no, it's coming back. It felt like It felt like, when you go to the circus and there's people like trying to get you into their tents. That it kind of felt like, the vibe. I was like, that is a big summer feeling. You know what I mean? I love it.
It's giving bearded lady.
It is giving bearded lady and man with two heads and like
girl with six arms.
Yeah, and some man who's got hair all over his body like the wolf man.
Major slay.
Super slay.
I'd be in the freak show for sure.
Me too, probably, actually.
They'd be like, look at the mentally unstable.
Oh, wait, they're everywhere. But no, what have you been up to recently in past days? Have you been feeling the summer freshness, the summer vibes?
Summer vibes are high, except for I'm working a lot, so they've been high in small doses, but I hip thrust 300 pounds yesterday, so I feel like that's pretty cool.
Ooh, yeah, Jen's gonna come out here and crush everybody. I'm so looking forward to it.
I can't wait to rip a phone book in half with my legs.
I want to be there. Like, the day that you try and you're gonna do it, I want to be there. Just because I want to be, like, your cheerleader. You know what I mean? You can do it!
It's so funny because at work, because I kind of have to, like, skedaddle early-ish on, like, certain days to go to, like, my training or whatever. And so they've been like, what are you doing? Like, this seems so mysterious, So I'm like, oh, yeah, like, just doing boxing, whatever. And they're like, oh, why? Like, and I was like, and I keep saying as a joke, like, oh, so I can classify my hands as weapons and rip a phone book in half. And then, so yesterday, one of my coworkers was like, because I kept saying it, and so she was like, okay, let's try. So she brought up, like, a stack of, like, paper that was, like, supposed to go in the shredder, and she's like, okay, this is about the size of a phone book, try and rip it in half, girl. I could not do it. I was like, there's no way.
This is why it's a goal. You know what I mean? You gotta get there.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. No. Clearly.
I do remember at some point one of our good friends joked, but I'm going to take this as my joke now. Sorry. That at some point it's going to be like that scene in Twilight where like the car is barreling towards Bella, but then Jenn shows up and just like hip thrusts the car out of the way.
Yeah.
And I'm
me,
Bella,
guys.
You're saving my life.
Hell yeah. I absolutely would do that.
Yeah.
And you know it.
I know you would. What have I been up to? I feel like, as you folks know, Jenn and I are employed gals, so that's a big part of life. But my husband and I have recently really gotten into bird watching. I think I've mentioned this before because I learned that there's a term for it, which is called being a birder, and the birder community is a big fucking deal. The people who are very passionate about it, they got a lot of things to say, and Andrew. He is just these woodpeckers just love him. They love to land in his hands and eats out of them, and apparently it just makes the local birders crazy. Because they're like, they shouldn't be doing that, and he's just sitting there like Snow White covered in woodpeckers, and I'm like, that's my man.
That's my man.
That's my man. So that's fun, and I've really been trying hard to find time to sit down and read a ridiculous smut book, because those are always fun to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, I feel like since the weather's been nice, I've just been getting out a lot more, and I'm crushing out audiobooks like crazy. So I
I
finished
know.
my one audiobook, which is just, I think, book five of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, and now I'm on book six, I think. I don't know. Um, I'm just lining them up. So that's been a journey as well.
Hell yeah. That's fair. I just finished a memoir and now I'm ready. I think I'm ready to start. I was trying to remember what the name of that series you wanted me to read was. Because I
Oh,
was like, I can't start anything else until I figure this out.
Beasts of the Briar is the name of the
Be-
series. I can send you which one just because, like, there's been a
Yeah.
romantasy craze, and I feel like there's 5 million books that have similar titles. So I'll just send you the
Yeah.
one that I've read that I was talking about.
Okay, excellent. Because I need a new book because my walks have been kind of depressing without
See,
one.
that's what I mean. This is why, like, having a good crazy smut book is the way to go because they're just so unhinged. They're never not exciting.
I like being aghast while I walk in public. I'm like, oh,
Exactly.
so scandalous.
How could
I'm
they?
scandalized.
Exactly. So then, with that, should we get into our wheel of questions?
Hell yeah.
All right. What's something completely harmless that somehow instantly creeps you out anyways?
A man walking behind me at night.
You could have just said I'm mad. I'm kidding.
I could have
I'm
stopped there.
kidding. Ah.
No,
But
but like I do get kind of weirded out, especially when like you're going on like a longer walk at night and then a man just like is following you the whole way. I'm like, I usually stop, like go off to the side and let him go in front of me because I'm like, I don't
yeah.
trust you.
That's fair. I also like similar, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to be my answer. I kind of feel that way about like when I'm driving and I'm by myself and there's a car keeping pace beside me, like matching my
Oh, I
speed.
hate that.
Right? I do have a recent one though about something completely harmless that instantly creeps me out. And that is caterpillars. I feel like this year I've seen way more caterpillars than I have in so many different years. And I used to just not feel a type of way about them at all, but now they kind of make me feel itchy. I don't like it.
That's how I feel about centipedes. I'm okay with caterpillars, but centipedes like really unnerve me.
Agreed. Big no to centipedes. Big
Do not
no.
like.
Do not like. All right, but yes, let us spin for our next question. Do you trust your own memory when it comes to things that happen late at night or when you're half asleep?
Yeah, usually. I feel like when I'm awake, I'm awake. I am not a half asleep kind of person. So I feel like I'm pretty aware when I'm awake.
See, my issue is I do experience half asleepness, but it's not that I necessarily trust my own memory. It's more like I'll wake up the next morning and I'll have woken up in the middle of the night, been half asleep, had a conversation or done something, then gone back to sleep, and then the next morning when I wake up, I'm like, that was a crazy dream. Like, I don't really register it as something that actually happened. I just kind of think it was a part of, like, being asleep.
Right. See, I don't really get that. When I'm awake and having a conversation with you, I remember that. At least I think I do. Who's to say?
Yeah, well, watch, you'll have an experience sometime after this and you'll be like, wait a minute. I take it back. But yeah, so I guess I don't trust my memory.
She's like, I trust my memory. Actually, wait, just kidding.
Was that a dream? Yes, probably. Also, was it? Who knows?
Who's
We're
to
just gonna
say?
trust none. We're just gonna trust none of it, probably.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move for our next question.
Yes. What's the weirdest thing you've ever found randomly in public?
Men.
I know. I love the thought process though, because it's like, for me when I wrote this question, I didn't have anything come to mind immediately because I think at some point, especially if you've spent any time in like a bigger city or even like a rural town, you just see enough weird shit at a certain point where it all just kind of like,
It's all the same, really.
Yeah, like I don't even know if I saw something that weird, if it would even really register to me as being like a weird thing to see or like a random thing to see.
You know
Um,
what? I remember in 2021, maybe, me and
mm,
Emily were finally out on a patio having patio drinks
hmm
after the lockdowns had all happened,
Yes, they were
enjoying our summer.
margaritas.
And I think it was one of the first times that I had ever seen one of the hot pink limo trucks. And I remember thinking that was really fucking weird.
That's also pretty random. Um, what's mine? Mm,
And men in general.
of course,
I didn't know
always.
we let them outside.
That's the actual question. That's
Yeah.
the weirdest thing about this, really.
Get them back in their enclosures. Just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding.
Listen, we're just going through our small men. It's not meninist. What is it? No. What's it called when you're dunking on men constantly? Being a hater? I guess it's just being a hater. We're
Just being a
haters.
hater.
We're just haters. No, I feel like I've had some really good random ones, but actually, funny enough, I feel like most of them probably happened when we were kids. Because I feel like as a teenager, we used to see weird shit in public like all the time.
Yeah. But maybe that's because the world was so new and fresh to us.
Yeah, probably. Randomly found in public. Mm. I had like a vague something and then it disappeared, but that's not in the spirit of the show. I gotta come up with something.
Yeah, come on.
See, for a minute, I thought you were going to say Cybertruck for your answer, and I was like, come on, Jen, it was 2021. There's no way.
No, those just anger me when I see them.
Mm-hmm.
See, the hot pink limo truck I looked at with wonder in my eyes. I was like, why
You're
does
like,
this exist?
how
Who
do
is
I get
this
me one of
for?
those? Actually, you know what? In the same vein of vehicles, just because I'm having a tough time with, like, anything else, I was, like, trying to think, and I was like, have I seen anything, like, have I seen, like, a pineapple where it doesn't belong? Like, what have I seen?
A donut on the floor.
Yeah, like what's going on? I have seen one of those long trucks. Like it's not like a limo truck or a limo whatever, but it's like one of those trucks that have the stupidly long back ends.
Mm,
And I don't know if they're like a limo thing. I'm assuming you have to rent them for something. Like it's just like a funny thing, I guess. But it was like literally a pickup truck and the box was long enough to where the man driving this truck had to drive it like a bus. And it was when my husband and I were traveling down in America. And I just remember looking at it and I was like, that makes sense.
See, on the topic of being in America also, I feel like one of the last times we went to Arizona back in 2023, I think, I saw they had just launched those self-driving Ubers or whatever they are. They're not actually Ubers, they're some other company.
Yeah.
So, like, you get in the car and no one is driving, but the car is just... And I remember being, like, bewildered by that. I was like, whoa.
It's kind of freaky, to me still. And I think the company
Yeah.
is Waze.
I
could be
think
wrong.
so.
But that feels right. No, see, when we were in Arizona, I remember I watched a seagull eat a cigarette, and I was like, yeah, that feels right too.
See, there is another one. We've got so many, guys.
Apparently. All right, let's spin for our last question. Do you think that people are naturally curious or just nosy?
If you're asking my honest opinion, which of course you are, because that's what we're doing here.
That's the whole point of the show.
When do I not give my honest opinion? I think people have a severe lack of curiosity anymore.
Hot take. I'm here for it.
I think people are so uncurious and they just, like, instead of doing any research themselves, they'll just be like, oh, what is this? And then if you're like, I don't know, and then that's it. They, like, give up. They're like, well,
They're
guess
like,
I'll never know.
I'll
And I'm
never
like,
know.
the information could be at your fingertips, my guy. Like, and I just genuinely don't understand, because when I have a question, that isn't answered, I look it up. Like, I want to know. I
That's
want
my
to learn.
thing too. But that's totally a thing. I feel like fostering. I feel like, so to answer the question, are people naturally curious or nosy? I would say that people are probably more inclined to be naturally curious than they are nosy. But I think that's something that still needs to be fostered, like being able to have a curiosity and then exploring it properly. Like if you have a question about something and you just talk to some guy and you're like, what does this mean? And then some guy looks at you and says, I don't know anything about that, and then you do nothing with that. It's like you're literally putting your knowledge dead in the water. Like you should at that point still be interested enough in what your question was that you're willing to go to resources to figure out what that is. And it's like literally things have never been easier. Like you said, it's like you can pull up Google and Google, how Google used to work, for anybody who's trying to approximate how old we are. You used to have to actually go into websites to figure and read to learn whatever it is you want to learn about. Which you can still do, to be perfectly clear, but they have an AI overview now where it's like, oh, here's all of these resources and they all say the same thing, and here is this information now. You could quite literally have your question, whatever it is, answered in 2 minutes or less using a free service that every cell phone on earth has access to. And you're going to sit here and tell me, well, I don't know, I put up on social media, how do I not shit myself? And nobody could tell me how to do that. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to help you. Your comment section just called you an idiot. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting though, because it's just like people are just so quick to give up now, and so that's why I am leaning towards people are more nosy, because I think also because of social media. People are more nosy now because they feel more entitled to these influencers and people they see online that they know nothing about. But, like, when something happens in their lives, they feel entitled to that information. Regardless of the fact they don't fucking know this person in real life. They're only seeing, like, little tiny bits of them. But, like,
that's a good
people
point.
feel so entitled.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. It probably is more of a cultural thing where it's like, okay, which one are people more of? Well, it's whatever people are generally practicing, right? Because for me, originally I was thinking back to like being a kid, and I was like, I don't know, I feel like I remember like, you know, I used to go to school and get like take a book out of the library, and it's like everything you need to know about sharks, and I'd be like, cool, I'm gonna be an expert on sharks in like 3 days. You know,
Hell yeah.
Whereas like you're totally right, it definitely is more of like a nosy thing where it's like, oh, what can I learn from this random person on the internet who everybody knows that's going to be gossip that I can then talk about with other people, and it's not really cultivating we'll call it knowledge. I feel like that's not totally the right word I wanted to use, but it communicates what I think I'm trying to say. So,
and I'm guilty of it too. I'm a nosy bitch as well.
Absolutely.
But I'm also a curious bitch. I'm a curious, nosy bitch.
But that's what I mean. It's about, like...
well-rounded.
It's being well-rounded, but I also think it's, like, not being overly indulgent in different areas. Like, I feel like, and also in a way, just being nosy is kind of being a little bit lazy with your interests. It's like, do you not, like, have a passion for anything?
See, one of my favorite genres on TikTok right now is watching people's, like, debt payoff videos. Because I'm so fucking curious about other people's finances, and I love that shit. I'm like, yes, tell me everything. Tell me all the juicy details.
Right? I know, I'm trying to see... I haven't been super nosy about anything on the internet recently, but anytime I do see a video that is super nosy, I'm like, here, Jen's gonna research and tell me all about it.
It's true. I will.
All right, what do you think my topic is for you today? Which I truthfully do not think you're going to guess. I say this every week, but I really feel strongly about this one because I did not even know what this was.
Nosy.
Creeping you out instantly. Trusting your memory at nighttime. Weird things found in public. Naturally curious or nosy.
Someone overly nosy finds something strange in public and it follows them home in the middle of the night.
You'll get like a 50%.
Hell yeah, still beating you.
Yeah, this is true. So my favorite thing is you're definitely not keeping a point score in your head. You just know. You're confident.
Yeah. I just know.
It's true.
I feel it. It feels right.
She's met me once or twice. So I'm going to tell you the description, and you can tell me if you've heard of it before. If you have, crazy. Because I literally have heard nothing about this until it came up in my research.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more. I'm curious, if you will.
Curious. So the Happy Valley Dream Survey is a dream cited in Portland, Oregon, then describing their dream after the tone. So that sentence is garbage. I had to read it as it said it was. Basically, what the sentence was supposed to say, instead of somebody cited a dream in Portland, Oregon, is basically there's a phone number, okay? A phone number, you call in, and after the tone, you tell your dream. But then after one hangs up the phone, nothing is received back from that phone number. So I'll get into that more. I know it's like super vague and confusing right now. All you need to know from the description is Happy Valley Dream Survey, phone call, tell your dream, hang up. Who knows?
You never hear from them again.
Who knows?
They ghost you.
Okay? Yeah. So, have you heard of this before?
No, I have not.
Cool. Yeah, because I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? So, I'm going to tell you, and you're going to tell me at the end what you think, because that's what we do here.
Oh!
All right. With that, I'm going to get into it. So,
okay.
Here's my grand opening, okay?
Okay.
Have you been having strange dreams? This was the question printed on a strange flyer that appeared online in 2020. The flyer claimed to be from something called the Happy Valley Dream Survey, and it said the survey was investigating a recent spike in bizarre, unexplainable dreams. Anyone experiencing unusual dream activity was asked to call or email and leave a description of their dream. Which is simple enough, kind of creepy, but like, whatever. Except there were people who actually called into this number and did that.
Oh. I'd do it.
I think I'd do it too, but I don't know if I would say a real dream. I'd be too weirded out. You know what I mean?
No, I'd say a real dream.
What? Freaky! I feel like this is going to put me on a list or something. I don't know.
Emily's on a list. She's on a few. She's on my
definitely.
list.
With our research for the podcast, a couple, definitely.
For sure.
So, except people actually did call into this number. And according to multiple Reddit users, this number worked. Callers were met with an automated voice asking them to describe their dream after the tone. Some people reported receiving an automatic text afterwards thanking them for their participation. Others claimed that they received short, unsettling phone calls back in the middle of the night, but they were usually too brief to answer. The mystery really starts with the fact that this was not the first dream survey flyer that people had seen. Years earlier, in 2015, similar flyers appeared in Portland, Oregon under the name the Willamette Valley Dream Survey. Those flyers also asked people if they had been having strange dreams and invited them to call in and describe them. The wording was nearly identical. Strange dreams, bizarre unexplained activity, leave a summary. That matters because the Happy Valley is connected to more than one place. Utah County is commonly nicknamed Happy Valley, but there's also a city called Happy
Utah.
Valley. I know, right? It had to be Utah. So many... Just quick sidebar. Have you noticed that most of the alien stories I've covered on the podcast are pretty much always in Utah?
Yeah, that checks out.
Doesn't it? Just weird
Maybe
sidebar.
the Mormons are actually just aliens.
That would be the plot twist of the century, and yet somehow it feels right.
That's my new conspiracy theory that I'm starting right here, right now.
Quick, let's all put our tinfoil hats on, and the Mormons are aliens. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
So then, There's also a city called Happy Valley near Portland, Oregon. So when the Utah Flyer appeared years after the Portland one, people started wondering, is this just a continuation, a copycat, or is this actually a part of something bigger that's going on? So the original Willamette Valley version seemed to have the strongest real world footprint. It was reportedly covered by the Oregonian in 2015, and later internet investigators connected it to Portland's weird public phone culture. One important name that comes up is Futel, Futel, a Portland-based project that preserves public telephone hardware and provides free calls, voicemail, and phone-based services. Futel describes itself as a part social service, part communication expert, and frankly part art project with a rotary dial fever dream aesthetic. The Futel connection makes the Willamette Valley Dream Survey feel less like a government experiment and more like an interactive audio art, which is still creepy, yes, but a secret. Yes. But is it like secret psychic research? I mean, probably not. But it kind of feels that way, right?
It's giving that energy for sure,
isn't it? So that's kind of where I was like, not like leaning towards, but like it kind of has a very particular vibe to it. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just abstract enough where it's like, it kind of is giving the vibe of like neighborhood psychic is trying to like do research, right? Like,
I could see that, you know, I can envision it in my little peanut brain.
Yes. So the Happy Valley version, though, of the Willamette Valley Dream Survey is a little bit kind of murkier in its details than that one. So the Happy Valley Flyer appeared years later in 2020, so 5 years later, and it was discussed heavily on Reddit. A Reddit user on r/RBI said the flyer had been found in Utah and included both a phone number and an email address. They also noted that the Happy Valley Flyer copied the Willamette Valley Flyer almost word for word. It was just localized to a different place. Okay, cool. So then when the user called the number, they said it went to voicemail after one ring. A voice asked them to leave a description of their dream, and then after hanging up, they reportedly then received an automated text thanking them for their participation. Later that night, they claimed they received a call back from the same number, but it rang only briefly and then left no voicemail, which is kind of what was going on also in the Willamette Dream Survey.
Right.
So other users complained, maybe, but claimed similar things. Some said that they were told that they were outside the survey region. Others believed the whole thing was an ARG, a marketing stunt, or somebody copying the older Portland Flyer because it was spooky and internet friendly. And yeah, some of these theories are like not super glamorous, but it kind of makes sense for how people work sometimes, where it's like, oh, like this thing happened, maybe we do it again, right? Like for the bit, the pandemic has happened and nobody can leave their house, but look at this thing we can do. Is kind of what I was thinking.
People reached a state of delusion during the pandemic that I could get behind.
Why not, right? So the Happy Valley Dream Survey had all the ingredients of a modern internet mystery. A cryptic flyer, a working phone number, dreams, automated messages, anonymous creators, deleted accounts, and just enough weirdness to make people feel like they'd stumbled onto something they weren't supposed to find. But there's no solid evidence that this was a real scientific study. There is no confirmed university, lab, government agency, or legitimate sleep research organization attached to it. One Reddit investigator even claimed that they contacted somebody who was connected to the International Association for the Study of Dreams and found no indication that it was a legitimate dream research project. Which, I find that so interesting that there is even something called the International Association for the Study of Dreams.
I really didn't think other people's dreams were that interesting.
You know, well, that's like I'm trying to remember what episode it would have been that we talked about this. It might have been Project Blue Book, but there was some sort of a government thing. Do you remember? I shared on the show where there was like the government was doing research into people who were potentially psychic or had really vivid dreams to see if they could control them and and like astral project across the world and like basically check out military bases remotely. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, which was, military research or whatever. But I don't know. I do think it's interesting that there's a dream study, though, because, and I know that's like an internet bit where it's like women just like to talk about their dreams and men don't give a shit about them. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I find that if your mind, like when you are unconscious, because that's what happens when you're sleeping. Not sure if anybody here has slept before, but it's
No,
like if you're
I never have.
whatever you never. It's like whatever you're experiencing is vivid enough, and it's putting you into like mentally into a situation where it can sometimes be like very intense or very strange. I feel like it's a good like not like what am I trying to say here? It's not like you can parse out your entire subconscious just by trying to remember your dreams. But I feel like
Mm-hmm.
everybody experiences dreaming so different. Like people dream about different types of things, obviously, because we're all so different, that it is an interesting thing to hear.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like
I
getting a
also think
snapshot
that
into a person's
your
subconscious experience.
yeah, I guess your dreams do tell you a lot about like kind of like the stresses that you're having and like the different things that are going on in your life. I guess you can probably decipher a lot about a person and what their mental state is like through what their dreams are.
Oh, totally. But there's even people I've met where it's like for myself, I've always been a vivid dreamer, which is actually something I've learned because at some point I can't remember. I went on to like a little research path to figure out like why it is that people experience dreams so differently. Because some people I know the only
Mm-hmm.
dreams they ever remember are anxiety dreams, whereas like for me, for example, I've had whole worlds invented in my brain, and I'm like, what's the deal with that? And it has to do with how your brain receives information because some people can actually physically visualize things in their brain a lot easier than other people. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a mixture of your interpretation of the world, what your subconscious is evaluating in regards to your nervous system, and then you got to mix in a little bit of like exactly how powerful is your imagination and how the information is being processed, which is so
Yeah.
interesting to me.
It is interesting to think about that. And it's also interesting thinking about just the fact that some people can't picture things in their mind at all.
Well, it's like, have you seen on the internet for a time, there was like a little viral thing going around where it's like, ask your friends and family what they see when you describe this. So it was kind of like a
Mm-hmm.
little picture thing of like and it's like A B C D and it's all different pictures of an apple, but the apple is either like just the word apple or like and that's A, and then B is like a rough sketch of a circle, and then C is like a rough sketch of like an actual apple shape, and then it goes all the way down until D where it's like literally an apple from real life. And so
Mm-hmm.
the question was supposed to be if you picture an apple, can you tell me what it is you see in your mind? Because some people also saw nothing, like blank, nothing.
I see like a realistic apple.
I also see a realistic apple. When I asked my family at the time, because this would have been, I don't know, I can't remember when this went around on the internet. It would have been a while ago, though. I remember asking one of my brothers, and they were like, I see literally nothing.
Weird.
Maybe the word for apple, but I don't see like a picture. And I was like, you don't see like an apple itself? Like, what about if I told you to put the apple on the table? Like, do you see an apple on a table? And they're like,
Yeah.
no, now I know that there's an apple on the table. I don't see anything in there. And I was like, what? That's
Weird.
crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, but there's people, but that's like how the differences of how people think, which is why some people prefer movies over books because if they actually don't see anything in their brains, reading a book means nothing.
Never thought about it that way.
Yeah, it's interesting. But anyways, so what was it? The main possibilities are that it was an art project that was inspired by the Willamette Valley Dream Survey. It was an ARG, which just means alternate reality game, designed to make people investigate a fictional mystery in the real world. Or it was a copycat trying to recreate the eerie success of the Portland Flyers. It also could have been a data gathering prank or a marketing stunt, collecting phone numbers and dream stories. And I guess the fifth option, that it was just something genuinely weird that just somebody came up with. But based on what is available online, the reasonable conclusion about what exactly was going on with the Happy Valley Dream Survey is that it is a internet-era urban legend built around real-life flyers and real-life phone interactions, but its purpose and creator remain unconfirmed. And the reason it works so well as a mystery is because dreams already feel private. They are strange little movies made up by your own brain, and then suddenly some anonymous flyer appears asking you to report on what they look like. So that's kind of, to me, what makes this story creepy. Not
Mm-hmm.
because something supernatural necessarily happened, but because someone somewhere wanted strangers to call into a number and confess what they saw while they were sleeping for some completely reason, which is weird.
It is. I still think I would do it. I feel like, I don't know.
It
I
could
don't
be
have any
fun.
qualms about that.
See, I'm just suspicious enough where I kind of got my one weird eye on it. But at the same time, I think during, like, specifically the 2020 era, in a heartbeat, I feel like there was enough things going on during that time. I would have been like, you know what? This is something else to think about that isn't like the actual pandemic going on around us.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think I would have. But what do you think was going on with it? Like, I know we kind of talked about what vibe it was giving off, but like, if you were to see something like this and you're like, oh my god, like this is an actual thing, like what would you think is going on?
I would probably think it was some sort of marketing stunt or someone just playing like or a copycat. I think those would be my top two theories. You know, it gives marketing to me a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It
Um,
does.
especially since I think in 20 like around pandemic era, you had like big artists like Olivia Rodrigo where they had like phone numbers you could call and you could like listen to like a snippet of like her new song or whatever. There was like lots of like little marketing things like that going around, so it was like kind of
Okay.
trendy.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Huh. Weird. I was not a part of
Weird.
that. Weird.
Yeah, like there was a few different artists who did something similar to that where like they had a phone number you could call and there would be like a secret little message and like a snippet of their new songs or something.
Well, it does now. Now that you've said that, it does make me wonder if maybe this was like a local band or something, like trying to do something similar to what happened with the Willamette Dream Survey. So then I guess that's my other question. What do you think of the difference between the two? Because I do agree with you on the Happy Valley Dream Survey being a copycat of Willamette, because it's like, well, if the posters looked the same, it was only 5 years later, then it's kind of like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then what about the Willamette one popping up to begin with?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people have lots of weird interests, and I'm sure someone out there really just likes hearing other people's dreams.
You know what's so funny? So, when I made like my notes for this, I was like, I could see Jen and I doing something like this, but specifically because we would hope that people would call in and leave a message so that when we're like bored, we can just listen to them and be like, what kind of weird dreams are people having?
Okay, guys, if you have a weird dream, write it in to the listener stories, and if it's crazy enough, we might read it on our next listener episode on
Actually,
August
though,
28th.
true, because I've heard some really crazy stories in my life when it comes to people's dreams, and I'm in for it.
Well, okay, here's my question for you. Why does it creep you out so much, the whole thought of this?
I
Like,
think
what
for
about it?
me, I think for me specifically, it's kind of like you're like it's something that seems fun but could be deceptively like misleading as for what it actually is. Like if it is like a research project of some kind, it's like now you're putting personal details about your life out to, some random person. And not that I think that anybody would do anything with that information, but it's kind of like there's like a weird, like, to me it feels like there's a weird like non-consensual consensual thing happening. It's like, oh, call in and tell us a dream, cool, but what is that person doing with your dream information, like your story? Like, what are they doing with it? It could be something as easy as like, oh, I want to make a book and then make lots of money off people's weird dreams, which could happen. But then it's like, I don't know, like, is this person like looking for specific types of dreams? Like, is this like a fetish of some kind? Like, that's what I mean. Like, I'm just suspicious enough where I'm like, I don't know if I necessarily trust what's going on without more information as to like what the deal
Mm,
is. Because even if it was just some guy being like, I don't know, I work long shifts and I want to listen to people's crazy dreams, I'd be more open to that, right?
fair.
So
What
that's
if it
kind of
was
the
some
freaky
guy being
part for
like,
me.
I like to jerk off to your weird dreams?
I guess people jerk off to weird stuff all the time. Whatever. Whatever. But I don't know.
A certain clientele would still call in.
That's the thing. There definitely would be. But yeah, I guess that's my story for you. Is there anything else I mentioned in this episode where you're like, oh, that was really weird and we should talk about it?
I feel like we covered it.
Yeah, same. This is one of those ones where I was like, I feel like as the story progresses, we'll have some comments. But if you listened to today's episode and you liked it, you can leave us a review on wherever you're listening to our podcast. We also have our website, which is www.wheelofcrime.com. You can check us out on there. We have our Patreon, which is wheelofcrime@patreon. We have our email, which is wheelofcrime@gmail.com. We have our social media, which is on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok, all at Wheel of Crime. And lastly, like Jen mentioned earlier, if you listen to this story and you're like, guys, I have a crazy dream, or better yet, anything where it's like a dream of mine happened in real life. I had a dream about something and it was like a premonition. I feel like those are always really fun ones too. If you've had a dream and just fucking weird shit happened either in this dream or some weird shit happened in real life and it somehow is related to a dream, write in and tell us all about it. We are going to be doing a listener episode here at the end of the summer. I believe it is the last week of August. So you still have time to write in and give us a story and get your potential feature on our next listener episode.
Hell yeah. And that's it. That's all. We'll see you next week for another new episode. Okay, bye.
Bye.